Okay, this one is about Pacific Gas and Electric. For people that live in much of California, I'm sure, as I have, that they'll have seen these advertisements from Pacific Gas and Electric about how much they're doing to help consumers save on energy. But as a public utility, Pacific Gas and Electric pulls that usual public utility stunt of when people actually conserve, that they raise the rates and we wind up paying just as much even though we're conserving. And and they'll come out and they'll survey your property, whether it's your home or business or whatever. They'll come out and they'll survey your property and find ways to save electricity. But one thing that gets lost in all of this is that the ultimate root of the problem with electricity in California is that there is not enough of it. That's why it's so expensive. They won't allow power generating plants to be built. They won't allow electrical generating plants to be built. We don't even generate enough electricity here to meet demand. And that drives prices through the roof. That's what's called these rolling brownouts. And we are turning into a third world country basically in California. The conditions are matching those of a third world country because we have a shortage of electricity. And it may very well get to the point where they actually turn our electricity off. And it has happened in the past. Back in the 90s, Governor Gray Davis, that actually was happening, where it was brownouts across the state. And it was the same cause. There was not enough electricity to go around. PG&E can't do a thing about that. They can put all these ads out there about how they're helping Californians save electricity and be more energy efficient and what a great job they're doing and how much they love their job in the state and they're building California. But none of that matters. That's just all so much hot air because the underlying problem is still there. We do not generate enough electricity in the state. And solar is not the solution to that. There's already talk of PG&E paying people with solar panels less for the electricity that their solar panel puts on the grid. So those people may very well have spent these tens of thousands of dollars to put solar panels on their roof and getting credits for that electricity. And that may decrease in the future, which means that solar panel may not pay off for that person. I've heard talk of this, and it may happen. If the past is any guide, where in California when we do save electricity or natural gas, that they just raise the rates on us. That's consistent if they start to people that have put solar panels on their roof. I don't like solar panels guarantee that they'll be legally required to pay you for your electricity. This can change that way. Currently, you get a credit for that, but there's no guarantee that that's going to stay the same as PG&E gets less and less money for electricity as people use these solar panels. I really believe this solar stuff is going to turn into just another huge boondoggle in California. The bottom line is still that we don't have enough power plants in California. And until we push, and we need to have a real awakening in California for this to happen, but until we really start to push our representatives to do something about the shortage of electricity in California, we're going to be paying these outrageous rates. And all this carbon tax and cap and trade and all of that stuff needs to go, because it will drive our rates up and it will drive more business out of California. State government does not respond to us, but they need to. That is what they are supposed to do. They're supposed to do, but they're doing a horrible job of it. And I even wrote to my state assemblyman and my state senator for the California state government. And not surprisingly, I didn't even get a reply. For all the differences I'm starting to have with my representative in the U.S. Congress, because he's become a real lapdog for John Boehner, but he still takes the time to at least answer when I write to him. I mean, I don't agree with him anymore, but he does take the time to answer. My representative in the state assembly and my state senator are both Republicans, but they did not even take the time to answer. This state is really, really going off the deep end here. We are doing so many destructive things in California. There's been as I talked about in two videos ago, there has been a small break from this in that the strict petroleum limits did not survive in that bill that Governor Brown wanted passed. But that, like I said, that is just a small break. I mean, we are still dealing with huge problems of supply of water in the state, expensive energy in this state, and it's really, really taking its toll. And they're just doubling down on it. And PG&E can't do a thing about that aside from run slick commercials. But that is mere symbolism.